Alright everyone, welcome to JonSlow versus Scotty. We're gonna be casting the best of 5 here on Bully Official. And yeah, the first game has already begun. We're gonna have JonSlow playing as Aztecs versus Scotty, who's playing Japanese. First map of this series is going to be Continental, as you can see. And yeah, looking forward for this. Let's see. Alright, so taking the first board over here, Scotty. Japanese and Aztecs. Now, Japanese, of course, good water presence. They do get better efficient ships, they work faster, they are tankier, they have more pierce armor, they have good infantry as well, good archery. Aztecs, on the other hand, very dominant on land, but they also have a great bonus for water, which is not strictly for water itself, but rather having 18% faster creating military units that also works for docks. So yeah, that's pretty much what most people would expect Aztecs to benefit from on water maps. This of course is a hybrid map. You have some water, you have some land. This is going way too fast. Okay, let's try and not go so fast anymore. So yeah, let's see, at this point 23 villagers, 1 military unit for both players, 4 fishing ships for both as well. JonSlow is gonna go for Loon, subsequently to Fuel Age, already going for the walls here in the middle. Now this is a very small space for him to wall. That is not the case here for JonSlow. So Scott is gonna be able to wall easier. JonSlow is gonna spend some more resources, but it's gonna be fine. Either way. Let's see. Both players on their way to Fuel Age. JonSlow is going to be there first, but he has a single back dock. What's the case for Scotty? 5 fishing ships, so that's 1 extra fishing ship. He doesn't really have an extra dock yet. So this seems to indicate that they are not really gonna try and commit to water that much. It's a very, very conservative play over here for both players. Music might be a little bit too high. Hold on, I'm just going to... Just going to decrease the music volume a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Oh, Castle Age already. JonSlow is gonna go for Fast Castle. That's apparently gonna be the case as well for Scotty, so he's going right now for Market. There is a Blacksmith already on the way as well. Still 5 fishing ships and 1 extra villager for Scotty, so he should be pulling ahead a little bit in eco, especially with Japanese fishing ships and the higher working rate. That's 5, 10, 15 and 20% faster working fishing ships per age. So at this point it's 10% faster working, it's going to be 15 in Castle Age. 1 military unit for both players. We're gonna see JonSlow going for barracks over here. Oh, and an additional dock over here for Scotty. So you can see the Japanese player is gonna try and go for some water control. Aztec player is gonna try and go all land. Makes sense. And let's see. Castle Age is going to be there in just a couple of seconds for JonSlow. Going for gold mining as well. Horse Collar for Scott is going for gold mining. JonSlow is going for Horse Collar. No farms just yet. He should be starting to add a couple. What are we gonna see here? I'm very surprised that we are not seeing Eagle Warrior. I mean, he already has the barracks up. He doesn't have a lot of resources though. He does have the market, so he can use that to try and balance his eco a little bit more. So what he's gonna do right now, he's gonna add the monastery, the siege workshop, and it's going to be monks and siege for the green player. And Scotty, does he know about this? He doesn't. Alright, there we go. He can spot now the siege workshop, he can spot the monastery as well and the spearmen. So he knows what to expect. Now, against spearmen, of course, skirmishers are good, archers are good. They're not so great against siege. So cavalry, yeah, I would say JonSlow is doing everything he has to do, is doing all the right moves. He's going for monks. Monks are going to be great for converting cavalry. Scouts are going to be good for sniping monks, but at the same time, JonSlow is going for pikemen or spearmen at this point, so that's going to be very hard for Scotty to counter. So what we can see is here, the purple player going for men-at-arms, eventually longswords. Longswords are going to be good versus pikemen and versus seagulls, but I'm not sure if it's going to be very, very effective versus monks. So whatever, we're gonna have to wait and see. For the time being, 1 TC here, 2 TCs here for the Japanese player. Situation back at home for JonSlow. Single TC push. So bringing the arena style over here to Continental. That's going to be very interesting to watch. Siege Workshop coming up here on the back for the purple player. Scotty is going to start taking a lot of pressure over here, getting one villager converted. That's not very good. We're going to be able to use this villager to repair or to build or whatever. It's going to get healed now. That's good. So 2 TCs here for purple once again. That's going to be 1 if he can do anything against this. He does have the monks and he converted the eagle. Now there are 2 Minotaurs in here. JonSlow going for redemption right now should be able to convert siege as soon as the Mangonel starts coming out. Of course, Aztec monks are going to be the best in the game. If he goes for sanctity, if he goes for block printing, he should be able to convert Mangonels without much of a hassle. And we can see over here that monk survived full head-on shot here from the Mangonel. Barracks is gonna start getting converted right here. Let's see, only 1 monk, 2 monks over there. Alright, TC is already down. Mangonel should be converted. 1 conversion over there, so that's gonna make 3 Mangonels for JonSlow, who is pushing quite well over here. Scotty here, getting denied. Scotty denying the water, sorry, for JonSlow. So at this point, fish and chips 0 for the green player. But the push is very strong. And with 2 additional villagers, JonSlow is looking quite well over here. So an additional TC is going to come up over here for Scotty, but he's already behind villager count. Going for more eco at this point seems like a mistake. He needs to deal with the pressure here. He needs to deal with the push. Converting the market even! 200 IQ, he's not going to be able to balance his eco without the market. That's only going to make it harder for Scotty to hold on over here. Mangonels are raiding, Spearmen are raiding. He doesn't have a market anymore. He does have the wood to go for another market. But yeah, that's a bad thing for him. Another Mangonel getting converted, and the Aztec monks are being used exactly as they should. Converting siege, converting units, being tanky, pretty much everything. Unexpected Aztec monk rush from JonSlow. Agreed? Never would have thought that. Alright, there we go. So 3 villagers going forward from... Oh well, actually not forward, this is still his base, but... Well... Not anymore, this is looking pretty GG to my eyes. Scotty getting absolutely dominated by JonSlow, going arena style, monk push with Aztecs in Continental. Very well played, and yeah, the game is going to be over very soon. Scotty is gonna try for a little longer, but at this point, there we go. GG, nice one, well played, agreed. And that's going to be the first game going in favor of JonSlow, so we're going to change the scores right away. There we go. Perfect. Now we're going to take a look at the achievements real quick before jumping into the second game. There's only 90 seconds of delay. Actually, no, I think there's more delay. Anyway, should have enough time over here. So 17 to 9 KD for JonSlow, pretty much 2 to 1. You can see here at least 4 conversions. 2 of those at the very least were siege, so that's quite painful for the purple player. Scotty with better eco, wood and food collection, but more gold for JonSlow, going for siege and monks, makes sense. Didn't go for any eagle warriors, instead he only stuck to spearmen just to make sure that he could protect the monks. As for the timeline, you can see here Castle Age total domination for JonSlow, taking the first game, and that's it. We're gonna jump into the second one now very soon. Second map is going to be Bedouins. As you can see, the banned civs for JonSlow are Chinese and Indians. That's civs that he's not going to be able to use. Scotty will not be able to take either Chinese or Mayans. So, alright. Perfect. We're gonna have to wait now for probably 2 minutes until the spectator delay runs out. So yeah, I'm gonna put the counter up, the countdown to extinction. At 2 minutes. There we go. Perfect. All right, we're going to be right back to jump into the second game of the series. So stay tuned. Alright everyone, welcome to the second game of the series. This is going to be playing in Bedouins, but actually, hold on, is this a re? We seem to have a little bit of a pause. Now, 3 minutes and 50 seconds means that he's probably going to call for a re. We're going to take a look at the maps to see what's going on over here. So pond over here, a small wood line. As for Scotty, the pond and the wood line as well. 3 villagers for Scotty, 4 at this point for JonSlow, and it seems to me that maybe Scott is gonna call for a re. Yeah, the game has been aborted, so we're gonna have to wait for the next one. Apparently, it took way too long for Scotty to get the TC up. Yeah, that is not good. All right, we're going to be back. Alright everyone, welcome to the second game, this time probably for real, for this best of 5 for the Aspiring Experts tournament between JonSlow and Scotty. We're gonna have Scotty here playing purple with Indians, which is a banned civ for JonSlow. So yeah, the green player instead is going to go for Mayans. Let's take a look at the TC uptime. Should be a little bit faster for JonSlow as he has all the villagers building it. Yeah, I do agree, the tournament is quite good. Shout out of course to Racer for sponsoring this, making it possible. Make sure to follow the channel if you haven't already. We're going to be covering a great deal of this tournament. Alright, there we go. So even though Scotty was building TC faster, or earlier rather, JonSlow is going to get it up faster. 3 villagers already on the shorefish for both players. House coming up now for JonSlow. And we have reached parity. Let's take a look at the scouting information. Alright, so berries here and sheep over there for the purple player. We have more fish over here, abundance of fish, of course. 1 goal is going to be forward, stone is going to be forward. What else does he have over here? A bag goal here, that's going to be good. As for JonSlow, he doesn't really have any goal close to home. He actually has 3 goals. No, actually only 1 goal, very, very far away. So the TC location I would say is probably better for Scotty here for sure. He has access to 2 golds, he has access to this stone. JonSlow is going to have access to 1 stone, but the closest goal to home is super far away. He does have another gold over here, but it's actually closer to Scotty's map. So this is not looking very good for green in terms of map. Of course, Mayans versus Indians, that's going to be very tricky. Mayans getting a very, very strong Castle Age power spike with the plume archers. Indians, of course, getting the +1 pierce armor in their camels, are better versus ranged units than regular camels, but they are not stellar. And they are not extremely good as they used to be back in the day. They're not invincible anymore. But yeah, the good thing for him, of course, Indians do get faster working for JonSlow. I mean, for Scotty, Indians do get faster working fishermen. So that's 15% faster working fishermen that also can carry +15 fish. Now, or meat rather, or food, whatever. However, walking distance is not going to be a huge issue over here. So the +15 capacity to carry resources is not going to be that great of a deal, but the 15% faster working rate is going to be huge. If you add that up to the stone here, both golds over here, and the cheaper villagers as well, that makes up for a huge eco lead for the Indian player. We're gonna take a look at the resource count over here. As we can see, we have 400 and 470, 80 at this point for both players. Keep in mind that there are only 8 fishermen for the Indian player. And if we take a look over here, we can see that the total amount of food collected is actually quite similar, despite having less fishermen. So that's quite something as well. Alright. At this point, Scotty is going to click up to Fuel Age. Playing Indians, he's most likely going to go for scouts. Although, yeah, he can try to take advantage of Fuel Age, as the Mayan player is probably going to try and look to go up to Castle Age as fast as possible. The Bully Bot brought you here. Hello, Bronze. Welcome to the channel. So this is only the second game in the best of 5. We still have potentially this one and at the very least another one, depends on the outcome here. But yeah, the first game was quite dominating for JonSlow. They were playing Continental. JonSlow went for Aztecs, Monk plus Siege push, and Scotty, yeah, just got overwhelmed. It was very well played by Green, of course, and this time around we're gonna see the Mayan player going for stone, so quite expected. He's going to go forward now with a couple of villagers towards the gold, most likely. There we go. And yeah, JonSlow is not going to be able to go for fast castle. 18 villagers only, and with this amount of resources, with only 3 villagers here, yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to go for fast castle. And that's also probably not the best strategy here. Bedouin, super open map. It's very hard to go for fast castle, and against an Indian player with stronger eco, with better field age, it's way too risky. And after losing the first game, actually no, JonSlow is the one who won. He can try to take the risk, but I would say he probably doesn't want to. Good, more villagers. It's going to be in Castle Age soon enough though. It's not going to be a super late Castle Age in any way. Now, total resources collected, 100 more food for JonSlow. But keep in mind, of course, that he was going for more fishermen. At this point though, the Indian player is going for more food villagers. And JonSlow just got housed. What's this expansion looking like for the Indian player? There we go, Scotty is going for the full map wall. He already walled this area, he does have this area protected by the TC, he's going to have walls over here. And now he's going to send a couple of scouts forward. This is not going to do anything to the gold miners, but the stone miners are exposed. He's not going for the walls. Too late, way too little, way too late. One villager is potentially going to go down. I don't think so, I think she's going to be saved. He's going to try and target another one. That one's not going to die either, but that's going to be idle time. Now, stone miners are going to be crucial for a Mayan player playing versus Indians. He's going to be forced to go for a tower now back at home, and now if we take a look at the stone count, he's only going to have 66 more stone than what you start with, which is not ideal. He was going for a lot of stone, he was going heavily into that. He's going to have to spend some stone in defensive towers now. Fortunately for him, he's going to be able to go up to Castle Age fairly soon, but without a castle, I'm not sure how useful that is going to be. Another tower coming up over here, but 4 scouts. 4 scouts, the villagers are going to have to retreat. That's going to be very inconvenient for him. Let's take a look at the HP pool. Those villagers are quite well. Scouts are not doing bad either. He can potentially, there we go, so he can wall himself, he can finish this for sure. But he's going to be out of stone for his castle. Now, he almost has the resources to go up. I'm not really sure if he has the buildings. He doesn't seem to have the buildings. He doesn't. He cannot go up. Alright, there we go. So blacksmith coming up now for JonSlow, who already has the resources but's lacking the buildings. Scotty is going to push now with a couple of villagers going forward with towers here, which is going to push JonSlow out of the gold. He can potentially push him out of the stone as well. He doesn't really need to reach this tower, he only needs to reach all the stone piles. And that tower is perfect. Very well played here by Scotty. Fantastic decision making. Let's take a look at the villager count, population. There we go, so 36 for Scotty, 26 for JonSlow, who is going now up to Castle Age, but with 4 less villagers. And the difference in uptime is not enough to justify that. Now, 1 villager is going to go down for JonSlow, and the game's not looking very good for the Mayan player. Once again, out of stone. That's going to rule out a potential castle now in Castle Age, and that is not good. So Scotty can go for another tower over here. He already has the resources. And what is JonSlow going to do over here? He can only take stone from this one tile, I believe. Let's take a look. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that is not good. He's gonna try to save villagers, but now at the very least 1 villager is going to go down for sure. And green player out of stone without the chance to take gold over here. Buy a castle? He doesn't have the resources. He can sell everything he has and still wouldn't be able to afford it. Now what is he gonna do? We have one player in Castle Age without resources to take advantage of it. He cannot even go for an extra TC. Of course he cannot go for the castle. He cannot even afford military upgrades, so he's going to be behind in villager count, military tech. He's just going to be behind all around. Scotty going for the full map wall. Eventually that's going to finish building. But yeah, it's not like he needs that. Let's see. Hello, Vivi Fan. He trapped his own villager. Now that woman's going to go down. JonSlow is going for Spearman. That's going to be good, but he is not... Yeah, he's not controlling the army well enough. Still trying to get enough stone to get that castle up. He's getting there close. He's getting there little by little. But not there yet. This match is live, Vivifan, and yeah, it's Nova. Match is live, it's the best of 5 for Aspiring Experts, round of 32. And the series is looking quite close, so the first game went heavily in favor of JonSlow, who took advantage of Aztec monks to go for siege plus monk push in Continental, but is now in a very awkward position versus an Indian player who not only has more villagers, but also is probably better suited for this map. Very well played here by Scotty, denying the gold, denying the stone. JonSlow is finally going to be able to afford that castle, but he doesn't really have the eco to support Plume Archer production in my opinion. And even if he could, Scotty is pretty safe over here. Let's see, the quick walls. Alright. I'm going to be there. No, actually no. And now the Mangonel. This is great. This is fantastic execution by Scotty. That's a miss shot though. Oh yeah, that's probably a misclick. But that is quite good. The castle might get denied. That's going to be the GG. That's going to be GG. The castle got denied. And JonSlow is going to call this. There is no way he's going to be able to get back from here. 16 villagers. He's going to try and get the castle up and probably call the GG when the castle's up, but 15 population. 15 population. What does it say? Nobody? Yeah, we're having some issues with the bot. We're going to try and work it out after this game. Sorry about that. He's not calling it. He has 15 villagers. He's not calling it. He's queuing villagers. He's going for another lumber camp. All right. This is going to require nothing short of a miracle for JonSlow to win this. He probably thinks the score is close enough, but this castle is going to be awful for him. We were saying earlier that he didn't really have a lot of gold available to him. This is the closest one that he has. It's getting denied by a castle now. That's not going to go down in Castle Age. He has another one over here, but that one as well is closer to Scotty's map. What is he gonna do? He's gonna try and go around and potentially start taking this gold. Does he know about it? He doesn't. Alright, there we go. JonSlow has called the GG. That's going to be the equalizer, which means that we get a 1-1 series in this best of 5. We're going to jump into the third game after taking a look at the achievements, so stay tuned. KD 23-12. That's good. Very, very good for Scotty. Better eco all over the board. Faster fuel time, faster castle age, although not as useful of a castle age for JonSlow, unfortunately. One total castle for both players. Scotty 41 villager high, 26 for JonSlow. In my opinion, the game was pretty over in midfield age already. I must admit that they have the potential to bring the games back, but yeah, I don't think that was the case for this game. Okay, we're going to wait for a little bit for the spectator delay to run out, and we're going to jump into the game. So stay there. Alright everyone, welcome to the third game. This time around we are going to be playing Houseboat, if I'm not mistaken. Then we're gonna get Malians versus Melee, quite interesting. So Scotty is going to be playing Melee over here. Melee, specifically a naval civ, which get the harbor, which get 33% cheaper fish traps that last forever, so that's potentially quite powerful over here. If he goes for efficient fish traps around this area, those are going to be out of the reach from land units, that could potentially be very, very good. So apart from that, they get 80% faster uptime, and they get 30% cheaper elephants, so that's potentially very powerful as well, at least on land. As for JonSlow playing Malians, he gets 15% less wood required to build the buildings. He gets +1 pierce armor per age on barrack units, and he also gets free gold mining, if I'm not mistaken. So the bonuses are going to play differently here, obviously. But the potential army composition is going to be quite interesting to see as well. So Melee, good archers, Malians, good archers as well. Melee with a slight edge by getting Bracer, which is something that Malians don't get. Both civilizations get fully upgraded arbalests, other than the lack of Bracer for Malian. But Melee, of course, getting elephants, Malians getting camels. Melee getting Karambit Warrior, and Malians getting Jubeta Warrior from the castle. So migration is starting to happen over here, as you can see. JonSlow is going to start transporting villagers one by one as they get created. There we go. Villager lead already, one villager more for JonSlow. And if we take a look at the map over here, we can see that the generation this time around seems to be a little bit better for JonSlow, who is getting over here gold, accessible gold on the back, which is not the case for Scotty. He has a small gold pile over here, a small stone pile over here, but the other gold is forward over here, far away. So yeah, there is 1, 2, 3 golds, 4 golds on the back for JonSlow. That's not going to be an issue. He has wood as well, stone as well. So the generation seems to be a little bit safer right now for the blue player. If we take a look at the villager count, still one villager ahead, consistently ahead for JonSlow. So this is looking alright. What are we gonna see? I expect to see feudal war. If they transition into Castle Age, the Malay player might go for elephants. 30% cheaper elephants makes them a lot more viable. And elephant spam can be quite tough to stop. Now going for archers as Malay versus Malians is quite inconvenient because the Malian +1 pierce armor per age. So I have to wonder what the strategy is going to be. I do believe elephants are going to be seen here. I don't know what they're going to be paired with, to be honest. Archers are not going to do a whole lot versus longswords or pikemen from Malian. I'm not sure if you're going to see some water sabotage over here. Potentially one player going towards the other player's lake, building a dock here. That's something we have seen already in a couple of the series. Players going for docks in the opposite lake, starting destroying fishing ships. So right now villager count equal for both players. Something's happened here for JonSlow. He was getting housed. At this point Scotty is gonna have one extra villager, but as we can see, still housed at 25. There you go, so 30 now. That was a lot. That was a very slow reaction time here from purple. He was probably housed for 30 seconds. And this is quite interesting. So John's going to transport one villager to the front. This far he was transporting villagers to the back. What is he gonna do here? I'm very curious. Let's see what he does. That's going to be 5 villagers, 6 villagers. Oh, but he has been spotted here. The scout was perfectly in place. He's just going to start taking the fish over there. Nice. Same situation for Scotty. Over here. 24 villagers. Equal count for both players. Scotty is going to pull ahead now, as he does have half more villager. Or rather, he's queuing villagers a little bit faster. Situation has been reverted. And there we go, JonSlow, first guy to go up to fuel. Already with loom. Both players with loom. And in fuel age, from JonSlow, we can expect infantry and we can expect archers. Although with this population, it's very likely that they're gonna try to go for Castle Age. It's actually more than likely. It's pretty much given. So what are we going to see in Castle Age? I'm not sure they're going to try and do any aggression in Fuel Age. I don't think that's going to be the case. Even though the map is kind of vulnerable, if you have the TC in the middle, so you don't have any way to protect your villagers other than walling yourself. I think this map is potentially very good for raiding. But they're going to choose to go for Fast Castle. Of course, going for fishing ships means that you're going to have a stronger eco than you would have otherwise, so Fast Castle is just a little bit more viable. But let's see, both players now up. JonSlow clicking up later is going to get there almost at the same time because of the melee bonus. So we're gonna see market going up right now. A dock here from Scotty! And I want to see, is JonSlow going for... Alright, there we go. So the blacksmith is... I don't think he knows about this. Oh, he knows! He has lost one scout over here to JonSlow's scout. But Scotty is going to be fully walled in a couple of minutes. And he's going to be able to start going for fire galleys over here. So that's 2 fire galleys queued. JonSlow is not going for fire galleys yet, but he knows about this. Yeah, he does. He can see this. Alright, JonSlow is going to go up to Castle Edge right now. He's going to try and get his own dock up here, so let's see if he gives any... There we go, so fire galley is coming up here. He's going to use this one as a distraction for this fire galley, which means that he's going to be able to queue more military units faster with 2 docks over here. He's going to be able to defend just fine. Now I want to see what he's gonna do back at home. I want to see what he's gonna do once the fish run out, because the fishing ships from Malay, once again 33% cheaper, but they also provide unlimited food, so that's some value for your rule. Scott is gonna go for another dock over here. 2v1, that fire guy is going to go down, and JonSlow is in a very awkward position here on water. He is going to be up in Castle Edge faster though, and if we take a look at the resource count for Scotty, he's going to be able to click up at any moment now. He's going to need to transport the villagers over here though. There we go. And he should be able to click up. There we go. As JonSlow hits Castle Edge, Scotty is going to click up himself. Now it's going to take a good deal longer for Scotty to get to Castle Edge, of course. He's not clicking up yet. Does he not have the buildings? He doesn't! He's going for the blacksmith now. That happened last game to JonSlow. This time around it's happening to Scotty. And now this is a perfect position to go for a demo raft. He's not going for one though. He's trying to repair now the fire galleys here. He has a villager's idle at this point. And there we go, Scotty finally going out to Castle Edge. He's not going to try and repair the fire galley over here. Now war galley has been researched for JonSlow, which means that he gets the fire ships. He's going to go for a siege workshop forward over here. That's going to start putting some pressure on Scotty. Alright, perfect. So 1 mining camp going up over there. And the villager count so much higher for Scotty at this point. Of course, Castle Edge time is going to allow JonSlow to catch up a little bit, but it's not going to be that much. So I want to see what he's gonna do right here. As for military, water control back at home is pretty much guaranteed for JonSlow as long as he keeps producing, which he's not doing. Oh, and this is not good. This is not good. What do we have here? Only fire galleys. I was expecting him to try and go for demolition rafts, but he didn't. Some villager war over here. Scott is about to lose 1 villager. That's going to bring the villager difference down to only 3. What are we gonna see? So JonSlow with enough stone for a castle already, breaking through the palisade walls over here. He's going to go forward. And what is he gonna do? Where is he gonna drop the castle? He can potentially drop it here. He can potentially drop it here as well. He's going to be able to break through the stone walls with the castle. But let's take a look at the scouting information. So he knows about the stone over here. He doesn't really know a whole lot about what's over here. He knows about 1 gold, 2 golds. And I'm not really sure if I agree with this. I would probably try and go for a castle over here to deny both golds. But he's going to choose to go towards this area. Alright. Scotty on the other hand is going to go for extra TC, so that's going to be 2 extra TCs already. Over here for JonSlow, that's going to be 1 extra TC. So still with only the single original one. And yeah, the 4 from Scotty got pretty much cleaned up. Now I want to see what he does. I am very surprised that he's not going for... Oh, he still has plenty of fish over here. So it's not going to be an issue for the time being. These fish are going to get denied by the castle. At least these 2. He's still going to be able to take from here, although that's not very efficient. And I still wonder if he's going to go for the infinite food supply or not. So we have siege here from JonSlow once again. Siege and monks. forward castle, second walls over here, stone walls for Scotty. That's going to keep him quite safe for the time being. The mangonels are still going to be able to destroy the walling. But yeah, he's going to need to go forward. Villager count now 5 higher for Scotty. Let's see. Now purple's building a castle. Where though? Over here. Interesting. I'm not really sure about this one. He might be trying to go after that for a TC over here and try to protect the gold and the wood over here. Yeah, but I'm not really sure about that. Not very convinced. Let's see this though. Defensive tower coming up for Scotty. That tower is not going to have enough range to prevent the mangonels from breaking through. It's going to have enough range to prevent the mangonels from killing a villager if he sends a villager to build a perpendicular gate. But let's see. Oh, conversions there! Fishing ships getting converted. No, I don't think it's only laggy for you. We are having some issues with the ISP. We're dropping some frames, which is quite unfortunate. But there is nothing we can do at this point to try and mitigate that. Only restarting the stream. Maybe after this game we can try and restart the stream. But if that doesn't work, there's unfortunately not much we can do. Let's see though. Yeah, it's dropped frames, guys. Sorry about that. Not much we can do at this point. We're gonna try restarting the stream after this game. So sorry about the inconvenience. But let's see. Villager count now about equal for both players. 1 TC, 2 TCs, 3 TCs in total for JonSlow. I'm not really sure if he's gonna keep queuing villagers from this one. He actually will. He's gonna have to keep transporting the villagers. Does he have? Yeah, he has a transport ship, but he is not really taking care of this. Let's see. Just going to make sure that I don't have anything running in the background. What is this wobbly thing? Gonna have to get rid of that. Probably taking too much bandwidth. Anyway. Oh, there we go. A dock here from JonSlow. He's going to start. Look, he was going. Scotty was going for the fish traps. That is quite good. But because of JonSlow's push, the blue player is going to be in a position to start harassing the water here from purple, which means that he is not going to be able to take full advantage of the unlimited food providing fish traps. That is very, very bad for Scotty. Once again, Malay get 33% cheaper fishing traps or fish traps that provide unlimited food. So that is quite some value over there that he is not going to be able to use. Now, mangonel is going to get converted over here. That's going to go, come at a cost though, as one mog is going to go down. That's going to bring the total amount of mangonels up to 4. Scott is going for Karambit Warriors. He has a couple over here. He's going to go 4 and try to raid with those. Karambit Warriors are very effective for raiding. They are very weak against other military units though. Now, fortunately for him, this Mangonel and Monk push is taking the bulk of JonSlow's goal, which means that he is not going to have a whole lot back at home to defend with. So potentially a couple of Karambit Warrior can be quite effective versus the villagers. Let's take a look at the upgrades though. These guys don't have any upgrades, which means that they... Yeah, even villagers are going to be able to fight against those. 2 are not going to be able to do a whole lot, probably just cause some idle time. But I don't think Scott is gonna have the attention span to take care of that. As we can see here, there is another castle coming up for for blue, and JonSlow is putting more and more pressure onto Scotty, who is going to have to take more and more time just to defend from this. Now Imperial H on the way for both players. 33 minutes and 16 seconds for Scotty, who clicked up later but is going to get up sooner. That's very strong for Malay. And there we go, so Karambit Warrior going forward. Alright, so connection seems to be working fine for now. Perfect. What are we gonna see? More Karambit Warrior here. Gebetto Warriors coming up now for JonSlow, and Gebetto Warriors should be able to dominate Karambit. But then again, Karambit, they only take half population space, they train super quick. So potentially, I believe Scotty should be able to overwhelm the Gebettos. However, we have 2 castle production for blue versus only 1 castle production for purple. And at this point, what is Scotty gonna do? He's already in Imperial Age, he's going straight into trebuchets, so he's going to have the lead in the trebuchet war. JonSlow is not going for trebuchets, of course he's not in Imperial Age just yet, so let's see. As he hits Imperial Age, he's going to instantly queue the trebuchet, and right now he's going to find himself getting harassed by Karambit Warrior back at home. Actually no, Scott is just going to use the Karambit Warriors to scout. And what is he going to do? Is he going to send more Karambits over there to try and raid in the future? For the time being, he's using his only castle to go for trebuchets, so I don't think that's going to be the case. Although scouting information is always very useful. 1 battering ram has been transported here, and Scotty has lost. Look at this! Scotty has lost the TC, and now there's 1 villager attacking, 1 villager repairing. That's going to be an endless fight. Anyway, chemistry on the way now for both players, Scotty and JonSlow getting it. 2 trebuchets here for the purple player. Now JonSlow does have villagers repairing this castle, which is not the case for Scotty, only 1. That's not going to be enough with 2 additional trebuchets. So this is going to be a very close fight. If we take a look at the HP, that's going to be 3 trebuchets for both players, but this castle is about to go down, and there you go. So 2 final volleys are going to bring that castle down, which means that the Gebetto Warriors are going to be able to start doing some damage now. The palisade wall is going to go down, and those are going to be able to go forward. Not only snipe the trebuchet, but also the Karambit and villagers, which is worse. Now the Malay player going for bombard cannons, both players with access to bombard cannons, so potentially now that JonSlow has chemistry, he can start going for his own bombard cannons, but trebuchets are going to take this TC down. That's going to bring the TC count for Scotty down to only 3. Actually, yeah, that's going to be 3, but he is going to get housed though. That's going to be the GG call for Scotty, and that's going to be the 2-1 in favor of JonSlow. Very well played over there. We're going to change this now. That's going to be 2-1. And we're going to jump into the 4th game now. Potential match point. If JonSlow takes this one, he's going to advance onto the next round of Aspiring Experts. And Scott is going to be eliminated. Of course, we are going to try and get, we are going to hope to get all 5 games. That's a possibility right now. So let's take a look at the achievements, and then we're going to walk into the next game. So 26-8 KD for JonSlow. That's an insane KD. Doing a lot of damage with the water units, doing a lot of damage with the monks, with the siege, and with the unstoppable push. Faster castle age time. Otherwise, faster out time for Scotty. Is red represent? Yes, yes. Get hyped, boys. Alright, so we are going to go back now. There we go. And that's going to be 90 seconds of spectator delay. So when the countdown goes down to 90 or to 30 rather, we should be able to jump into the game. Next map is going to be Double Arabia, and this map is going to reward players with high attention span, with high APM, and with good decision making. We're probably going to see Hans for both players here. That has been the case for all of the other matchups this far in the tournament, in the round of 32 at the very least. So I'm not sure if we're going to see anything else, but yeah, it's more than likely that we're going to see Han War over here. Alright, let's see. Game is about to start. And here we are. Terra's macro isn't good. Let's see. Well, JonSlow is certainly well known to play Arena. But let's see what this comes out as. There you go, just as I say. Yeah, he gets the first villager idle. Over here, Scott is doing a good job. 9 villagers for both, 10 villagers now for JonSlow with 1 villager advantage. Both players picking Hans, of course. Indians would be good. Could be. Alright, so 1 extra villager for Scotty right now, so JonSlow losing the advantage that he had. Let's take a look at the maps. We have 1 back gold here for JonSlow. The other base, he has a forward gold. As for the other golds, he has a secondary one over here and a secondary one over here, so kind of far away. This one is on the other side of the wood line, so it's probably equally accessible for both maps. Secondary gold here in the front for JonSlow as well. And if we take a look at Scotty's map generation, he has a backstone over here, forward gold, forward gold, forward gold, and over here he has forward gold and 1 back gold for his entire base. He does have another forward gold over here. But I would say probably the gold situation is a little bit better for JonSlow at this point in time, at least with this map. As for woods, we have a very good wood line over here. Forward wood over here, forward and forward wood over here. He should be able to use those to wall. Scotty, on the other hand, is very open in the west base. In the east base, he is very open over here. He does have a huge heal. He can potentially try and use these wood lines to try and wall, but otherwise he's kind of open. He can try and wall this one. If they try and go for walling one base and using the other one to go for military production, then I would say probably the Scottish should be using this one as a wall base. As for JonSlow, he could probably be good using this one. He does have 4 wood lines here that would facilitate walling for him, and he could potentially use this one to be aggressive. But let's see, 24 and 23 villagers at this point for both players. If we take a look at the eco distribution, 15 food villagers, 5 and 4 wood villagers. That's going to be 5 and 5. Actually, no. Scotty committing a little bit more to food? No, just some idle time probably. Total resources collected. More food for Scotty at this point, but not much else. 29 population for both players. And let's see. Taking boars already. Where is it? Oh, there, that's going to be the second boar. You were mentioning JonSlow not having a very good macro. You can see that he was taking a very bad lure over there. Over here he's doing a little bit better though, so probably prioritizing the north base. Perfect. 33 villagers. 34 now for JonSlow. And yeah, the villager advantage is swinging all the time, so no player is particularly ahead. If we take a look at the total resources collected, we can see once again 1700 for Scotty, 1600, 1800 now for Scotty. Getting a lot of food. JonSlow is getting more wood, but that's not enough to offset the difference. As you can see, only 60 more food, but he is behind by 400 food. There is some very good eco management for Scotty. Very well played over there. You have to wonder, they're gonna go for Castle Age for sure. With this amount of villagers, 42 units and 40 units respectively for JonSlow and Scotty. We're going to see Castle Age very soon. That means that we're going to see either Knights or Cavalry Archers. The other day we had a matchup where one player went for Cavalry Archers. Triple Archer range Cavalry Archer production versus triple stable Knight production. The Knight army was a bit more powerful in that situation, at least it was T90 who was playing. He made very good use of the Knights, but eventually ended up losing by neglecting some eco, some macro, not going up to Imperial Age, and getting destroyed eventually by heavy cavalry archers. So what are we gonna see over here? You were mentioning JonSlow getting bad macro, or at least not as good as Scotty. That could mean that potentially Scotty is going to get to Imperial faster. Either way, Cavaliers or heavy cavalry archers in good mass in Imperial Age are going to be able to wreck pretty much anything that Castle Age player can throw at them. Scotty is going to go for the full map wall. At this point though, resources are looking good for him, but isn't this a little bit too late? And now these villagers are going to be exposed. Let's see, Scott is going to try to take good engagement over here. No, he's going to walk away. Let's see. Yeah, two scouts are going to go away. He's not going to be able to do anything here, especially with both scouts from JonSlow, full HP, villagers here. He's not going to be able to pick anything up. 50 population for both. 48 villagers for both. Resource situations looking very, very good for JonSlow here, getting very close to going up to Castle Age. As for Scotty, that's not the situation so much, even though he was getting a lot more food. He is spending a lot of resources going for this wall. He's going for a couple of additional scouts, so he's going to go for feudal push. Quite interesting. Let's see. Alright, good reaction over there. JonSlow is going to go back. Scotty taking the lead in the score, most likely due to army production. But otherwise, similar eco, villager count 53, so higher for JonSlow, even though he's going up to Castle Age, versus only 52. That's going to be one villager lead. Right now, the spearman is going to be enough to push the scouts away, especially with this amount of villagers and scouts over there. Oh, JonSlow might lose a villager over there. Well, there was a chance for him to lose one. What are we gonna see over here? JonSlow going heavily into walls. He's not going to go, he's going to wall this base. He's not going to go for full map wall like Scott is doing, but he's going to go for triple stable knight production in Castle Age. And what is Scotty gonna respond to that with? At this point, going up to Castle Age himself, he already has stables up, or at least one. Let's see if he has archer ranges. He doesn't, so he might not be looking to go for cavalry archers. These scouts have not been upgraded yet, so we don't have bloodlines, we don't have scale barding armor or forging, which means that it's not decided yet if he's going to go for knights or not. Let's take a look at the eco though. Villager distribution seems to point that he is going to go for... Yeah, he can go for either one, to be honest. He doesn't really have a whole lot more villagers onto wood or gold, so he can potentially go for knights, I think. At the very least, the villager distribution seems quite equal for both players. Stone walls coming up now for Scotty. He's going to give the arena treatment now to the arena player. And I can just feel how Scotty is growing a multicolored hair right now. And a red nose. Okay, let's see. This might go down. Scotty is paying attention though. He's going to go over there. Yeah, that's going to be good enough. So we have scouts here from Scotty, still unable to do any damage. Triple stable knight production. He's not producing more knights though. He should be able to break through. Actually, Scotty is paying attention over here. Yeah, he's doing alright. However, yeah, Scott is going to be safe over here. He has walled his base completely with stone walls. Fortunately for JonSlow, he does have a couple of scouts over here that he can use to gain some intel. But at this point, JonSlow, not only does he have more military, but he also has more villagers. So 7 villager advantage. Very safe back at home with the walls over here. Going for additional TCs, that's going to be 1, 2, 4 TCs in total for the green player, while Scotty on the other hand has 2 only, going for the 3rd one right now. He doesn't seem to be going for a 4th one yet. So in terms of eco, JonSlow should start pulling ahead. But we're gonna see Scotty go heavily into knights himself. Now there's already a good head start that JonSlow had with his own knight production, which means that at this point, military count still higher for JonSlow. It's going up quite rapidly though for Scotty himself. So let's see. If we take a look at the villager distribution, we can see JonSlow has 25 on food, 12 on gold, only 7 on gold, and 19 on food for Scotty. And JonSlow seems to be dominating here. 29 villagers on wood. That's quite good. So barracks should go down eventually. It's going down faster than it is getting repaired. Of course, Scotty can just bring a couple of villagers over here to keep it up. But yeah, at this point, he seems to be unable to support triple stable production, to be honest. Only producing from a single one. Either that or he stopped prioritizing that, sorry. 4 TCs now for JonSlow still. Equal amount of military units. Almost 20 extra villagers for green though. Going now for relics as well, so getting good map control. And let's see. 85 villagers, so only 2 short from 20 extra villagers. That's a huge increase. 20 extra villagers at this point is very close to 33% more eco production. So let's see, this amount of knights should be good for JonSlow. The upgrades +1/+1 versus +2 defense should be about equal. But the numbers are so much higher for JonSlow now. So Scott is gonna try to raid. He might be able to snipe a couple of villagers over here, let's see. But doing so would mean that he would probably sacrifice his entire army, or at the very least, a huge part of it. So let's see. Yeah, that's not good. He's going to lose everything here. Military count now going down for Scotty. Losing knights over there. Higher military now for JonSlow. Still 24 extra villagers. Let's see. 4 stable production here. That is a lot. He is not producing from all of those though. He's probably trying to start saving some resources to go up to Imperial Age. And this amount of Cavalier in Imperial would be game-changing. As for Scotty, we have not so good resources. Higher population by 30 almost for JonSlow. Higher military numbers, higher villager numbers. Only 23 villager advantage though, not 25 anymore, still quite high. Well, let's see. Scotty might be able to do some damage over here. He might be, well, I don't think both of these DCs have enough garrison space for all the villagers. JonSlow is going to start losing villagers over here, and with the +1 defense, these knights are not the best, especially not under 2 DCs. But he should still be able to get a couple of villagers. Yeah. He's going to walk away. He doesn't want to stay under 2 DCs, fully garrisoned. So let's see over here. Stone walls about to go down now. Battering ram push very well for JonSlow. Scott is going to go for 1 castle on the hill. That's going to be very important to defend this. So we have pikemen now in place. Those pikemen are going to be fundamental here. I don't think Scotty, let's see. Let's take a look at this. So military count, 8 infantry for Scotty, 0 infantry for JonSlow, but we are seeing some some cavalry archers there. So cavalry archers are going to be in place to get rid of the pikemen, but at this point, the military advantage for JonSlow is so high. Good thing for Scotty though, he is managing to raid some a little bit here. He did manage to get a couple of villagers at the very least. And now the villager difference is almost non-existent, so only 8, okay, 9 villagers at this point. It was down to 7 at one point, down to 6 actually at one point. Now up to 9 once again. JonSlow bringing his army back at home to try and defend. Scotty going forward is going to find all 3 archer ranges, and what is he going to react with? He can potentially go for Tarkans. Tarkans would counter cavalry archers just fine. They're not so good versus knight though. Elite Tarkans are very good though. They're almost as cavalier. Scotty getting fantastic value out of those knights. Over here, still though, 4 extra military units for JonSlow, 6 extra population, villager, I mean, 7 extra villagers, and JonSlow is going to go up to Imperial Age. Take a look at the resources from Scotty. He doesn't have anywhere near the amount of resources needed to go up to Imperial Age. Is he going to keep committing to army? I want to see. He is queuing more knights. He is not queuing from all the stables though, so he might be looking forward to go up to Imperial Age himself. He might be expecting JonSlow to go himself, for sure. But no, he's gonna commit. What is he spending the resources on? He had a lot of food. He had like 500 food, and all of a sudden he went down to 0? What is going on? Only 8 villagers here, 12 villagers actually. JonSlow is going to hit Imperial Age with more military units, with more population, more villagers, a stronger eco. And I'm not really sure if there is anything that Scotty is going to be able to do now to get back into the game. At this point, cavalry archers are of course going to be great versus the pikemen, and pikemen are not going to be very effective anyway versus cavalier. They're still going to be cost effective, of course, but once JonSlow hits Imperial Age, he is going to be in a position to start steamrolling. Let's see. Imperial Age now on the way for Scotty. And let's see, he's trying to force a fight over here. JonSlow going for Cavalier, going for Pikeman, but taking a bad fight over here, losing a lot of knights to the Pikeman over there. Those knights could have been a lot more effective as Cavalier. He probably was trying to prevent the Pikemen from massing up. And the cavalry archers, he still was able to take the better fight over there, but now the military count is 7 for Scotty, 37 for JonSlow, 7 extra villagers. He has 1 relic even, which Scotty did not pick, though he has 1 back at home. And now JonSlow is going to have to start working his way into Scotty's base, that is at this point fully stonewalled and with 2 defensive castles on a hill. It's going to be a very tough nut to crack open. Alright. Scotty now in Imperial Age. Is he going to go for trebuchets? He doesn't have a reason to go for those. He hasn't spotted any castles for... Okay, there we go. He has spotted now. So he's going to go for the trebuchets. It's going to be 1 trebuchet out only, not 2. Both players going for halberdier. Chainmail armor now on the way for Scotty as well. That's going to provide +2 defense for the halberdier. Cavalier already here for JonSlow. Now Tarkans are being created for Scotty, who is going for the 3rd castle. So Tarkans with Marauders don't need to be trained from the castle. They can be trained from the stables. Just as Anarchy allows Guts to create Huskars from the barracks. And let's see. He's going to bring now the Tarkans around. Scotty is going for Plate Barding armor. That's going to be +3, +4 armor for the Knights. And at this point, with the heal advantage, going for the trebuchets, this castle should be all but doomed. Now JonSlow is going to have to commit a lot of villager time to repair this castle, as a single trebuchet with the heal advantage is going to make a lot of damage to that castle. As you can see, 500 damage per volley. That's going to require a lot of stone to keep repairing. Now JonSlow, fortunately, he does have the stone. He is pop capped at this point. Scotty very close to being pop capped himself. 157 to 152 villagers. That's a lot of eco for both players. Now the castle here with the heal advantage for Scotty is going to stand no problem versus the trebuchet. Over here, that castle is going to go down, and the castle count now is going to go down to 0 for JonSlow. And he was looking so dominant, and at this point, a lot of Tarkans and a lot of halberdier for Scotty. And the game's actually looking like it's going to extend a little bit longer. Siege Workshops coming up now for JonSlow. And let's see. Tarkans at this point, let's take a look at the stats. So 120 HP, 12 damage, 4 armor versus 140, 16 damage and 4 armor. Cavalier, of course, are going to dominate Tarkans. Tarkans should be there to try and counter the heavy cavalry archers, but he doesn't really have the numbers at this point. 175 population, going down dramatically for Scott. Another siege workshop coming up now for JonSlow, who is going for murder holes, conscription, murder holes. Why would he want murder holes at this point? Then for archer ranges, he's going to try and go full heavy cavalry archers, but he saw the Tarkans. JonSlow at this point, heavy cavalry archer in place. Halberdiers are not going to be very good versus heavy cavalry archers in low numbers. Scotty going for light cavalry, but let's see, he should be, yeah, he's spotted now the light cavalry over there. So now would probably be the time to try and go for elite Tarkan. Elite Tarkans can potentially just chew through all the heavy cavalry archers. They can also take care of the rams, of course. But yeah, the situation is not looking particularly good for Scotty right here. He's losing a lot of halberdier. He might be able to kill 1 or 2 heavy cavalry archers over there. That's a little bit of miss microing for Scotty. But still, now this castle is about to go down. Heavy cavalry archers are there in place to defend the siege. JonSlow once again in the driving seat. But Scotty pop capped. Now take a look at the gold collection, at the gold amount of gold that JonSlow has. Almost 6k gold. Scotty on the other hand is a lot lower, going for his own heavy cavalry archers. Tarkans should be able to do a lot of damage over here. Elite Tarkans right here finally for the purple player, and we can see that's 15 damage, 8 pierce armor. So versus 11 pierce attack, that's going to be only 3 damage per shot, and what, 170 HP. The heavy cavalry archers are going to have to retreat, and halberdiers are going to have to start getting trained. Now Scotty is going forward now with a lot of Tarkans. One castle going up now for JonSlow. Scotty all of a sudden taking the driving seat over here. Score lead already. JonSlow is going to try to go for more siege, but siege is going to be useless against Tarkans. So what is he going to do? He's going to need to go for halberdiers. Tarkans, they just don't care about heavy cavalry archers. Once again, they require 56 shots to die from heavy cavalry archers, from fully upgraded heavy cavalry archers. 56 shots to kill a single elite Tarkan. Now, halberdier on the other hand, they are going to do a lot better. So very good, JonSlow is adding a couple of those. He's going to need those for sure. But we have right now halberdier and heavy cavalry archers as well from the purple player. And Scotty with 2 trebuchets already in place. Third one now on the way. Is going to be in a great position here to take this castle down. That's only going to be a stone pit here for JonSlow, as he's going to start throwing stone away. Fortunately for him, he does have plenty, but the castle might still go down as 3 trebuchets start taking it down. Now, however, 1 siege ram over here is going to take potentially 1 trebuchet down. Let's see, maybe 2 or 3. Let's see, that's 1 strike. 1 more strike, and one of those trebuchets is going to go down. The other one is going to go very low. However, the castle has gone down now already. And what's the rest of the map looking like? So heavy cavalry archers, halberdier from Scotty raiding all over the map. JonSlow, very open here, is not going to be able to defend so well. Scotty with the 200 IQ full map stonewall is apparently going to take this game. So now halberdier, Cap Ram himself going for the siege ram upgrade, going for elite skirmisher, heavy cavalry archer. He should be in a great position here. Now JonSlow is going for paladin upgrade, and once again, if we take a look at the resources, that's 2,000 gold at this point for the green player and over 2,500 food. That means that he should be able to start going heavily into paladins, and paladins are going to be very, very hard to stop now. Heavy cavalry archers, of course, in large numbers, they can still be effective, but versus a large amount of paladins, I'm not really sure about that. However, heavy cavalry archers and halberdiers might be a lot more effective though. Let's see, that's villagers going down, and the player who once had over 155 villagers now down to only 110. Scotty is going to sacrifice these units though, but he's still pop capped, so no problem over there. Paladin already here. JonSlow is going to go for Hazard now. Let's see, Paladins fully upgraded, that's going to be 18 damage, 180 HP, and almost as much pierce armor as a Tarkan, so quite good over there. They're going to be taking 4 damage per shot from heavy cavalry archers. That's going to be 33% more than a Tarkan would, but still quite effective. And let's see what's going on over here. JonSlow trying to defend over here. Siege rams are going to go down now. All the army has been diverted towards this area. Let's see. A lot of units might go down over here, so still Tarkans for Scotty. Tarkans, of course, are not going to be able to fight Paladin. They are quite strong. They are stronger than Cavalier, but not as strong as Paladin, of course. And now the siege rams going forward, and with only a handful of Paladins over here, I'm not really sure if JonSlow is going to be able to stop this. He will. He's going to be able to push JonSlow back. I mean Scotty back, who is going for another castle and additional siege workshops. The APM, the game sense, and the macro of this guy is just insane. I wouldn't be able to keep up with just 2 castles. Imagine going for 4 and even the 5th one over here. So Scott is still raiding here with Tarkans quite effectively. Hussars are quite good for raiding, but Tarkans even better because of the high pierce armor. That means that they can tank all the arrows a lot better. And JonSlow at this point down to 107 villagers, 175 population. Second castle up here already for the green player, going for trebuchets. More military units for sure. But let's see this fight. A lot of siege rounds here from Scotty. A lot of siege rounds there from JonSlow as well. That's going to divert a lot of fire from the heavy cavalry archers, which means we're going to see the melee units here at play. Halberdiers here trying to take care of the rams are going to get picked up by the heavy cavalry archers. Paladins have been picked up by the cavalry archers from Scotty already. And 1 castle is going to go down, so that's going to bring the castle count down to 4 for Scotty. Still 3 now for JonSlow. Yeah, the castle is going down. So the game's still not over. But the position is so much better for Scotty though. He has been raiding all game long, and even though the KD is fairly similar, we have to keep in mind that a lot of the units that JonSlow lost were villagers. From 157 villagers down to 98. For the first time going lower than 100. Now another castle from JonSlow going up. It's going to go instantly down now to the siege rams. But let's see. The Hussars here trying to get to take care of the siege rounds. Siege rounds are going to stay over there, as we have not only a crap ton of cavalry archers here, but also a couple of halberdiers. They should be able to take care of the Hussars, no problem. That was the case. Now that castle is going to go down, and that's going to be 4 and 4 castles for both players. So Scotty now with his 4 castles starting applying pressure over here. This is going to get denied, these buildings are going to get denied. JonSlow is not going to be able to produce from those. He's producing from all of these though, and I'm not really sure that's very effective or very efficient rather, as all those units have to travel a lot. Let's see. Another villager going down. Scotty finally losing villagers himself now to the raid. Although that's raiding outside of the wall. But guys, Scotty taking the game, JonSlow calling it. And yeah, the game finishing right here. So very well played over there. Scotty getting the equalizer that's going to bring the series up to 2-2. And we're going to go right now for the final game, the 5th game. So we're going to take a look at the achievements. Hold on. Pretty much 1 KD for both players. Food, wood, stone, and gold collected much higher for Scotty, even though JonSlow had more villagers most of the game. Very well played over there. Very good macro, as you were saying. So we're going to be back in 2 minutes. I'm going to restart the stream and we're going to be back, so stay there.